Welcome to Spokane Business at Spokane Talks. I'm Cyndi Donahue, and I'm very pleased to be joined today by Nick McLain of OddJobbers. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Cyndi.
I'm glad to see you.
Yeah, you too.
I get to see you fairly often anyway.
We do, yeah. Our paths cross quite a bit, yeah.
They do, and you are releasing a new platform for OddJobbers. Is that right?
Yes, we launched on Monday. There were bugs. There still are bugs, but that's the beauty of getting it out there. There's a mentor told me, if you are proud or if you're not embarrassed with your MVP when you launch it, then you waited too long to launch. So, we followed that advice, and but it's out there and it's going. We got bookings going. I'm sure there's students working right now. So yeah, it's great.
And so, will you tell people that don't know what is an MVP?
Yes, an MVP is a minimally viable product. So essentially, if you can get paid for what you're doing for people, then that's an MVP.
The bare minimum. And so what is OddJobbers? Why don't you talk about what OddJobbers does?
So OddJobbers connects homeowners, primarily people usually over 50, 55, 60, with local college students who can help them do household tasks, labor-intensive projects, and just chores. So we've kind of created a really easy way to get help doing that kind of thing. And then the technology behind it to do it, in Spokane, and then and now in Boise, and then in cities, across the country.
So you're expanding. So in Spokane now, so if somebody is moving or has chores they don't want to do in the yard, they can call OddJobbers.
Yes, definitely. And you can definitely call us. We're always by the phone. That's a huge part of what we're doing, because we have looked at other competitors, and customer service was like a common theme that we found in the successful competitors. And so, that was really important to us. But, we also made it really easy for customers to just book themselves. And so usability is like a huge thing for us right now, especially on this new application.
So what is the why of OddJobbers? Why did you create your company, and what's the reasoning behind it? Yeah,
so we believe that industrious college students deserve a better way to make money without sacrificing their schedule. So it really all started when I got back from studying abroad when I was at Gonzaga in the fall of 2017. I came back and I couldn't find a job because, I was totally broke, as many students are when they come back from abroad. And I just needed a way to make money. Every job interview kind of ended right when I said, I have this internship lined up starting in 3 months. So I just, I didn't have a way to make money. And so I kind of had this idea of just, let's start almost like a college student Craigslist for students. And that's kind of where we started. And so we've evolved to just be almost, essentially an Uber for odd jobs, where all of our drivers are college students who can, set up their schedule and their services and all this great stuff through OddJobbers, and then work for people in the community.
So you really started to help college students make money, but you're also helping the community and people that have jobs that need to be done.
Absolutely. So our whole motto is we want to help customers by helping students. So we've, customers, obviously that's a huge, focus for us, of course. And we figured out that the best way to do that is to create a really easy, application for students to use, because that whole need on the customer side is certainly there, and students want to do it. We just need a really easy and simple way to connect the two, and so that's what we've done, or are doing.
It is what you're doing. So anywhere that you do business, why is Spokane where you started? Is it because you were here and that's where you happened, or do you like doing business in Spokane?
So we were here in Spokane. I was at Gonzaga when OddJobbers started, but to be honest with you, I'm not sure if OddJobbers would still exist here, 2.5 years later, if it weren't in Spokane. The reason that I love Spokane, I always tell people, is there's fewer people and more water. But also what made me stay at Gonzaga and stay in Spokane is really just the community. So I can't tell you how many times, I've done jobs and met like just the nicest people that I like still have a relationship with, and I met them through doing yard work or cleaning or bringing up storage bins from the basement. So the Spokane community, that's really what has kept us here, I think.
And then now you're continuing on in Boise, so expanding.
Yes. Yep. So we're looking at Boise, and that was our first market besides Spokane, because it really mirrored Spokane. We have these like weird metrics that we sometimes look at, like no pro football team, which pro football or other sports, because Spokane, they love the Zags, they love Whitworth, the college sports, and that whole landscape is different than like in Seattle, where they have the Seahawks and the Sounders and all these other ones. So it's kind of funny to look at it that way, but there's a lot of other similar characteristics.
So communities that really support their colleges, because
Yes.
then the college students,
Yeah.
and therefore
Yep.
it expands from there.
Definitely.
And what's been the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome in leading your startup?
So since day one, the challenge has always been creating a replicable, easy to use system that connects the student who wants to do the work with the customer that wants the work done. And it sounds like that's kind of a stupid problem to have for 2.5 years. But we've never had a problem, finding student users that want to do this, and we've never had a problem getting customers. It's just creating that system that works for both of them and us was a challenge. But I think we've done it.
So having a platform that is keeping it simple, but also is productive for the students and helpful for your customers.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, the technology that we're now using, because we have 4 engineering team members, that the technology is way above my head. I mean, like, I have no idea what they're talking about, and I look at it, I have no idea what I'm looking at. So it's much deeper than it has ever been in the past, and so that's really helped us open the door to these other features that will automatically fill bookings based on like the schedule, where it is, what the service is, all these things, similar to like Uber or Lyft or those other on-demand service companies.
Very cool. And so if the community was going to help support OddJobbers as a startup in our community, what's one thing that they should know, or something that we should know about OddJobbers?
So we help people where they haven't really been helped before. I think a really cool thing about OddJobbers is with the combination of our providers, which are all college students, and then the way that we've approached this problem with technology allows us to help customers do things that they previously couldn't really get help for. So a great example is weeding. There's a lot of customers who have these recurring jobs on OddJobbers of weeding their garden or doing this simple yard work, where it just wouldn't make sense to hire a landscaping company and pay them $75 an hour to come weed your garden. So it's that kind of like service that kind of falls between the gap of do it yourself and hire a professional contractor.
And so what are the services, or what are most of the jobs now that the students are being hired to do?
So we've really narrowed down kind of our offering to the things that we're good at, which I think is probably a good strategy. And that's yard work, moving help, and cleaning.
And those are the 3.
Yep.
And are you ever going to expand into babysitting?
It's funny because we started with that, and there were a few jobs that kind of trickled in doing that. But to be honest with you, it's really hard to market to, and I'm sure you'll appreciate this, you're a marketer. It's really hard to market to customers saying, hey, use OddJobbers for yard work and moving the gravel from one point of your yard to the other, but also hire an OddJobber to come and babysit your 3-year-old, on a Friday night.
Your precious child versus your yard work,
Right,
right? So
exactly.
you had to find your niche.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah. And it seems like the kind of thing that comes up that is an odd job, right? So a student can make money here, but then take time off to go do their internship and then come back again.
Yep. And and that's something that I'm really excited about this new application. We've literally given students the ability to create their own work schedule. So they create we call it a shift on Thursday because their class just got canceled from 1 to 5, and then boom, they can get booked for by a customer in that time, and it's just it's that replicable system like I told you about.
Yeah. And so what else can we do to support you? So we should book a job at OddJobbers.
Definitely. Yeah, no, that would certainly help.
And somehow get the word out and let other people know what you're doing. And
just the pretty straightforward stuff of tell your friends, and if you for some reason didn't have a good experience, which I'm sure is few and far between, if any, tell us about it. You know what I mean? Like, we are very receptive to feedback, and I think that's one of our strengths from day one is we have never had an ego about what we're doing or what we have. We always want to get better and serve the customers better. So customer focus has been kind of a game changer for us. So people can help us by giving us, honest and open feedback.
Being communicative, yeah.
Absolutely,
When you
yeah.
said earlier that you said I said pick up the phone and call us because I'm not a Gen Y or Gen Z person.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get someone on the phone
Yeah.
anymore, and so that would be
Yeah.
such a pleasure to be able to call and talk to a real person.
I'll be on the other line. It's funny how often people are just like, oh, I'm just like, hey, it's OddJobbers. This is Nick. How can I help you? And they're like, oh, that's a real person. What do I say? Because they're expecting like a operator or that kind of thing. And that's not how we do it.
Yeah. And so what is happening in the future? I know that you have a lot going on with the launch of the new platform and expanding into Boise after being in Spokane. But what else is kind of the long-term goal for OddJobbers?
So, besides just expansion, we want to be in, anywhere there's a college student, because our whole mission is to, help customers by helping students. And if we provide opportunities to college students all over the country to, use OddJobbers to make better money without the sacrifice of a traditional job, that's number one. So we're totally focused on that. The other thing that I'm really excited about is an opportunity to, and this is an analogy here, not only supply the miner, but also the axe. So right now we can't provide the tools or materials or anything to like that. And so for moving help, for instance, we want to make it really easy for someone to do that through OddJobbers. So we want to help you book, a U-Haul, or, provide the materials or the cleaning supplies or the rake and shovel or all those kind of things, because that opens up our addressable market. And so now we can hook you up with a thoughtful, hardworking, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed college student, but also give you recommendations on, hey, this is how we would do it, buy this, rent this, use this to do your job.
So just making it easier to get things done.
Yep, that's it. That's a much better way to put it.
Well, I do like to put things into succinct phrase. Yeah. So I'm excited to have you on. And anything else you want to tell us about OddJobbers, or?
I don't think so. We kind of covered it. I'm really excited about this new application and just kind of the possibilities that opens. I'm sure hopefully there's customers listening to this. And, in the past we have struggled to fulfill every job that has come our way. And while that is kind of a good problem to have, it's certainly a problem nonetheless. And so, what I would say to the Spokane community who has experienced that is, give us another shot. We've been working day and night to kind of solve that problem. And I think we've done it. So give us a shot and pick up the phone and give me a call if not.
And college students as well, right? So I mean,
absolutely.
You need more backs for all those shovels.
Definitely, yes.
Good. Well, thank you again for coming on.
Absolutely,
I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Cyndi.
Thanks.
When we opened the doors the first day, we started with a counter full of maybe a dozen selections of a dozen cupcakes. We sold out, and it just went crazy from there. I'm Sally. I run Sweet Frosting's Blissful Bake Shop downtown Spokane. It's almost 40 years of baking for me. We now do between 1,000 and 2,000 cupcakes a day. The variety of cupcakes is kind of like the variety of services that STCU provides for us. Since we opened this site in 2014, they've been our banker. We are producing for 4 stores right here, so we have 35 to 40 employees at any one time. There's an STCU close to virtually every one of my stores, and every time I get a new employee, that's the first place we send them. STCU is such a good fit. It's just so convenient for me to have them as neighbors. They are always so pleasant and always so helpful, and we have a lot of little needs. They've always been behind me 100%, so it's a good thing to have that partnership.